Most of the women in IDP camps in northeast Nigeria have not seen their husbands for 6 years. Worse still, they have no idea if these men are dead or alive. The only thing I have been worried about since we came to this camp has been the well-being of my husband. Since they were taken away, I have not heard anything about him. It has been 6 years now. Some women have heard that their husbands are alive and well. I haven't heard anything about mine. For so long, women like Falma Tabulama have been left to care for their families alone, with little support from donor agencies. After successfully escaping Boko Haram territories, the women were separated from their husbands who were wrongly profiled as being members of Boko Haram. They have not been seen since. The problem is our husbands have been locked away for so long. Food is expensive. Our men would have been able to help provide for us. These women are parts of the hundreds of thousands displaced by the growing insurgency in northeast Nigeria. We were living peacefully and farming was our main occupation. We have never even left our community until we were forcefully displaced. Boko Haram came and gave us a notice to either move to their community or be killed. We spent 5 days in Banki, then we were transferred to Bama. This is 5 years. The children got sick, so we were taken to Yerwa to be treated. From Maiduguri, we were taken to Sais, where we were given 17,000 naira. The women were told that the government would protect their husbands from retaliatory Boko Haram attacks, but all they have heard is silence. The reason we migrated with our husbands was because Boko Haram drove us out. We were found by soldiers who then brought us to Bama. What I heard was that the soldiers said if the men were to remain here with us, Boko Haram insurgents would come and kill them. They said if the men were taken to Maiduguri, the government would protect them, while the women would be taken to Bama Hospital, where they would be taken care of as well. I left with 3 children. 2 have died due to hunger. After I gave birth to my first child, I stayed with my in-laws. She died not long after. It was after her death that my in-law's daughter and my son became sick, so I brought them to the hospital. Her father also died in Bama, so I continued to take care of her until she died. I even brought her here with me along with my son. My name is Fatima Bukar. I am from Soye community. Myself, my father, and my family members. In total, there were 6 children and 3 elderly ones. We have been away from our home for over 5 years now. I was separated from my father for about 4 years. My husband's name is Abari Amsai. We are from Duno. We have 10 children and are 13 in total. These women have children and relatives to fend for with almost nothing. Fatima Bunkar has to cater for 6 children, herself, and her father. In the camps, they get between 16,000 to 17,000 naira monthly, regardless of the number of mouths they have to feed. Some of them make caps to survive. When we are given 16,500 naira, it is supposed to provide for me and my 3 children. It is from that money that I get to sew caps to sell. Every month we were given 17,000 naira. From that allocation, we're expected to purchase foodstuff, toiletries, clothing for our children and ourselves. If a child is sick, it is from that money we'd have to treat the child in the hospital. We don't have enough food, toiletries, beddings, blankets, and so on. We have almost nothing. With charcoal, when we receive our monthly allocations, I buy a little at a time. I sell caps because of the extra income. 1 cap takes up to a month to make and can be sold for about 6,000 naira. The children band up so more can be made. Those who know how to sew caps do so to gain money from selling. My children sew the caps. We then sell them and use the proceeds. When we wake up and have breakfast, we sit down to sew caps. This is our only occupation. Sometimes I make 1 cap in 3 months, which I end up selling for about 6,000 to 7,000 naira. The money from caps is what we use to buy more food. An increase in the monthly allocation would go a long way because food stuff is expensive. I sew a cap in 3 months. I usually sew at night. Only the eldest girl knows how to sew a cap. The rest are yet to learn. Despite the trauma and lack, the women try to maintain a sense of family among the children through routine. The daily routine is to wake up and prepare breakfast. We then make kunu, a local cereal. We take some and keep the rest to sell. We then do some chores, then take our baths. Then in the evening, we either cook rice or spaghetti for dinner. When we are given 16,500 naira, it is supposed to provide for me and my 3 children. It is from that money that I get to sew caps to sell. With the pandemic disrupting normal life, their hard lives have been made harder. These women are doing what they can to stay safe, but their living conditions might not be safe enough. We heard about a deadly disease that was killing people. We were told to always wash our hands and that of our children. Before we eat, we carefully wash our hands with soap. We were also told to observe social distancing and to avoid gatherings. We used to hear about it on radio stations among those with smartphones. The warning of a new disease that was threatening lives. We heard that the country was shut down and no one was allowed to move. We did not receive food supply because of the disease. We were to observe social distancing while being told to be clean and take steps to ensure we do not contract the disease. We were told to always wash our hands and practice social distancing. We were just hearing about COVID-19 and coronavirus. We had never heard of such. We have been taught to take precautionary measures in dealing with the disease with the provision of face masks and disinfectants. We have been shown how to use soap and water to effectively wash our hands and that of our children. We also observe social distancing as well. They simply want better living conditions. It will make me happy to see that my husband is released and well. An increase in the monthly allocation would go a long way because food stuff is expensive.